Alright, chumps.
Zero Dragons!
It contains violence, language, innuendo, wizards, random encounters, and dragons. As such, it is not intended for people under the age of 13. You have been warned. Thank you.
Alright. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls. I am the Carbonite Dreamer, and I will be your conductor on this crazy train. Cannonball its way through Numbnutsville, straight on into the brick wall of insanity. Today on our misadventures, we have a few things to talk about in the world of entertainment. But first, I want to talk to you about you simian meat sacks out there. Alright? The other day I had to go out into the world, walking, talking, doing my thing. We had to get groceries. It's a part of life. You have to do it. We all know it. We all hate it, but we have to do it. Now, the biggest issue we've been running into is seeing some of the most idiotic things in the world. Right now I'm talking about you people that are running around with these gloves on. Now, I understand, not a problem. You've got the gloves on. Not an issue. The issue I'm having with is this. You go out, you run around, you scratch your ass, you pick your nose, you dig in your pockets for your cell phone. You still have your gloves on. Okay? Then you go wandering around through the stores, same gloves. You're go pawing your way through the produce, same gloves. Go pawing your way all over the meat in the meat counter, same gloves. And then you remember that you have gloves on. You take the gloves off, and instead of walking 6 to 10 feet and throwing the gloves in the garbage, it's you throw it on the floor. Now, hang on.
Let's see if that helped a little bit. Now, as far as that, if you're wondering about the modulation on my voice, I was working on a voice modulator, adjusting the sound on it, and it may not have been off all the way. I just turned it off. So if you're having an issue with it, still let me know. I haven't quite got that off yet. So I'm working on that. But anyway, back to what I was working on. All right. So anyway, instead of walking the 6 to 10 feet, you just throw the gloves on the floor. Gloves on the floor in the grocery store. I cannot count the times or the number of gloves I've seen on the floor in the grocery store, on the ground outside, on sidewalks. Just these are random gloves. And I'm not talking like winter gloves, I'm talking rubber gloves. You can get these are like surgical gloves, hardware gloves, neoprene gloves, the things we're supposed to be doing. The thing is, gentlemen, ladies, you're supposed to change these things every time you do something different. Okay? You scratch your ass, you change your gloves. You pick your nose, you change your gloves. Okay? You go from the produce department, you change your gloves. To the meat department, you change your gloves. And you throw them in the garbage. That's why they have garbage cans around there. All right? That's what they're there for. But no, you frickin' monkey meat. You're sitting around throwing job security. You do realize that that's the same kind of thinking as those jackasses that fill syringes with AIDS blood and stick them on the gas pumps. It's the same fucking thing. Okay? During a global pandemic, that is exactly the same fucking thing. Because let's hypothetically speaking here, and for you idiots that don't understand what hypothetical means, that means we're going to play pretend. All right? We're going to play pretend here. Let's say you do have this disease, but you're not showing any symptoms yet. It does take a while for these things to show up. And then you go out and about, you're cruising around doing your I'm better than everyone thing. You're out wandering around doing your thing. And you're just leaving this stuff lying around. And you're a carrier of this disease. Now, these people are having to come up and clear up your detritus off of the ground. Now, bear in mind, because of the idiot hoarders are running around who have hoarded up all of the personal protective equipment, and the fact that most of, if not all of, these global national corporations have bare minimum personal protective equipment in the first place, and they've already gone through it. Okay? These people are being exposed to this pandemic because of your carelessness. And you're sitting there, oh, it's just job security. You're literally spreading a disease that you could quite easily avoid because you don't give a shit. You're a monkey. And if you think like that and you act like that, you should do us all a giant favor and climb your ass in the wood chipper now. Okay? Now, on to the other things. Pardon. We've been having a little bit of fun going on in the world around us, and some interesting things. Now, let's see here. Looking into bounding into comics here. We had a little thing going on the 3rd. Piece done by John F. Trent. Atomic Basement Comic Shop owner Mike Wellman. This mentally well looking individual here tells this gentleman here that he is going to effing, okay, blow his effing face off of his skull. That's just, totally mentally fine, right? Never, all right? It's Wellman's comments came in response to a post from Van Shivers responding to famed G.I. Joe writer Larry Hama describing Comicsgate. Okay? Hama described Comicsgate as a group of comic pros who are reviving waning careers by pandering to misogynists, racists, and homophobes. Hama added they have a hit list of creators they considered libtard SJWs. Pretty much everybody I admire in the business is on that list, so I am rather proud of my inclusion. Whatever. Okay? Now, Ethan Van Sciver responded, I've got bad news for you. If there were a list, which there isn't, you wouldn't be on it. He continued, we love you. Richard C. Meyer especially admires you and cites your comics as the reason he chose to enlist and serve his country. Your G.I. Joe comics and their lessons in loyalty inspired us to stand up for each other as your friends tried to exert pressure on us to betray what we knew was right. He continued on, we stood behind Richard C. Meyer in his lawsuit against Mark Waid because your G.I. Joe comics, and we have stood together in solidarity in not giving Kickstarter our business because of their persecution of conservatives and political discrimination. You taught us what it means to be real American heroes. You inspire Comicsgate, concluded Van Sciver. In response to that post, okay, Mike Wellman, who was not part of the conversation, all right, he was not originally part of the conversation, injected himself into it. Oh, hi, Candy. Good to see you. I'm glad to see you here. Guess you're stopping in. Thanks for stopping in to see me. I know you've been busy with your own stream. Anyway, Mike Wellman decides to interject with on against Ethan, and said he can't wait to see him at a show and beat the living F out of him. Okay? And then he said he doubled down on it and said, I am literally going to beat your ass. How dare you insult legends like Larry Hama, as well as our industry itself. And I don't know about anybody else. Nowhere in any of what he said was that an insult. None. None whatsoever was in any of that. What he said was there an insult. I never saw a single insult in anything like that. As a matter of fact, it was nothing but positive what he was saying. Okay? And then he continues saying, you're such a little cowardly B-word. And then say, let's fight. Let me feed you a fist sandwich, you little B. Now, I'm not going to use the B word because Twitch doesn't like it, and since I'm also streaming to Facebook, they don't like it, and also this is going to go on YouTube, they don't like it. So I've got to censor myself a little bit, all right? So I'm going to censor myself a little bit on saying this stuff, but if you guys want to read this, as well as you can see it's on the screen, hit up Bounding into Comics. This, like I said, I'm going to quote this. You guys can see who wrote it. Take a look at some of this stuff. They also edited it out. All right? He responded, Van Schreiber responded, he's like, I might make a video about this, dude. Consider it, dude. Like, seriously, calm down. He also posted on Twitter a Facebook DM from Wellman threatening to murder him. The DM reads, give me your home address and give the police an actual reason to be concerned, because I will come to your house and blow your effing face off your skull. That is a fact. Now, I'm not sure what anyone else is thinking about that, but to me, from my point of view, all right, that is a direct threat. But not only is that a direct threat, that is an actionable threat. Now, and Van Schreiber has actually instructed multiple people in multiple cases to contact the police. All right? Has told people multiple times in multiple accounts to contact the police when this exact same thing has happened to them. And I think he should do the same thing. He should contact the police. This guy's an asshole, and I really think he should just contact the police. It keeps going on, and honestly, I really don't want to give that jackhole much more things going on with him, because he doesn't really deserve it. But Van Schreiber really goes on, continues to tell him, you know, dude, chill out, leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you. You need to calm. Whole thing. Are you a supporter of Donald Trump? That's literally what it is. Comicsgate means something. I'm not into it, but is Comicsgate on the side of Trump? Do you have any regrets at all for being a Trump voter? Why are you suddenly so compassionate? It's a little too late, don't you think? I'm compassionate because I can tell you're ill, and I love retailers. It's literally, this whole thing is boils down to the guy has a absolute massive case of TDS, and he has to interject it into everything. All right? And the guy it has nothing to do with Trump. The whole thing has nothing to do with Trump whatsoever, but he's making it about Trump. And now he's threatening to physically assault and murder a guy because of Donald Trump. And now let's see here. Oh yeah, now on to the next one. This one, a piece done by Drew Taylor. Director Neil Druckmann provides an update on Naughty Dog's indefinitely delayed The Last of Us Part 2. So, video games. I know quite a few of my friends are really into The Last of Us. I liked it. It was really good. Basically, right here, Naughty Dog's announced that the highly anticipated sequel to The Last of Us will be delayed, citing logistic issues, most likely because of the current situation with the pandemic. With many of the workers stuck at home under quarantine and social distancing orders, it's no surprise. In a statement on Twitter, the studio cited logistics beyond our control, which as the reason for the delay, but didn't give a timetable for how long it would last. As far as that goes, that's why they say indefinite. The statement reads in part, due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play The Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such a time when we can solve the logistic issues. Most people, most Hollywood people, most everyone is figuring uh, end of July, early August from everybody I've talked to. Yeah, everybody I've talked to is saying end of July, early August is what we're looking at for the whole gaming, movies, everything. Uh, the statement would go on to say that the studio would update everyone in the future when they have more information. You know, they're obviously upset about it. Let's see. The announcement wasn't all bad news, however. The studio confirmed that development was nearly done and the game was in process of having its final bugs fixed, which is good. I honestly like that idea with its chance of getting more bugs fixed. If it gives them a little extra time to go in and polish it, I'm all for that because as we all know, Fallout 76. If they had taken the extra time to polish that bug, you know, I would give it. That would be nice. And we're a week and a day out from the Wastelanders release, which I will be streaming. At least I hope I'll be streaming on that. And I'm looking forward to being able to do more with that. Um, I'm not sure exactly which one I'll be. I know I want to do something up with it just to see exactly what they changed on it. Since I didn't get in on, I'm not important enough to get in on all the pre stuff. Yay! I'm not an important Twitch guy, and I'm not an important YouTuber, so I can go f myself. That type of thing. Anyway, the president of Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann, added, "Extremely sad to deliver this news to y'all. Ultimately, this situation is out of our control. We hope you understand. Stay safe out there." Understood. There hasn't been. He said that he discussed the game on the official PlayStation broadcast, which was reported on IGN. He noted that there's actually hasn't been an official discussion on whether or not the game will be released digitally, insinuating the logistics issue is the shipment of the physical copies. Honestly, physical media is almost going the way of the dodo. Now, granted, I'm an old school gamer. The physical media, it was owning the box, the box, the stuff like that, the special edition stuff. Now, if they want to do something like that, if they're going to do something like that, that's what they should do. If they're going to put together a physical media, they need to put together uh, some sort of special edition with that, and then just do a digital release. That time that time is gone. Honestly, it is because even even if you download even if you download even if you download even if you download that, it's even if you download it, it's you get so much issues. Sorry, there's something going on here. Give me one sec. Never mind. There you go. Even if you go and get the physical media, you have to go and download the stuff, the updates, the stuff like that anyway. So why are they releasing that stuff? Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Neat. Anyway, so why do we want to continue with that type of just issues? The physical copies are going the way of the dodo because of this new stuff, because of the global pandemic. It's just time to do away with it anyway. Okay? And especially considering the fact that like Diamond Distributors has decided, well, they're the ones with doing all the comics and stuff like that. They're not even going to be able to pay all of the publishers what they owe them until August. And that's like, you know, the people who are putting together all the comics for Marvel, DC, everything like that. That's why 3/4 of the comics right now are getting the pencils down orders. We're not going to see much of anything coming out of the comic world right now. Okay? This is what we're going that's what we're going with right now, what we're getting into. So that's what we're running into. The fans of The Last of Us will hopefully get a polished product on it on day one, which honestly I'm actually all for. I'm all for you guys getting it. I'm all for everyone who loves these games, to love this game, to get what they want, especially for those who paid in advance for it. Like right here, The Last of Us was initially supposed to be available on February 21st. However, it would be delayed until the May 29th, 2020, explaining they wanted enough time to bring the entire game up to level of polish he would call Naughty Dog quality. So will this delay deter you from getting the game, or will you ride it out? It's up to you. If that's what you guys, I mean, honestly, I don't see a problem with you guys or anybody like that wanting to ride it out. That's the biggest thing. I honestly don't see people wanting to get rid of it and stop, because the people of the true fans of the game aren't going to stop. They're not going to stop. They're going to enjoy it. And I don't see anyone getting really mad about that. All right, now on to the other fun garbage. Movie news. Bum-ba-da-dum. Another bit of garbage. In the world of movies, Star Wars introduces Jedi Knight Avar Kriss as brightest, most noble example of Jedihood. Oh yeah, except, forget about Yoda. Yeah, screw him. Oh yeah. She's the bestest ever. Uh-huh. Yeah, huh. Just complete. It's just complete crap. It is. She's just complete and total crap. Now, going through and reading this, I just going through and reading this, it ticked me off reading it, but I'm gonna read it to you guys just because of what what I had to go through. I'm gonna subject you guys to it. Okay, I'm sorry, but you guys are gonna have to go through it with me here. Sorry. It's just one of those. I'm getting so sick of this whole thing, this whole crap storm. You know, I understand. Okay, I can completely understand wanting to be inclusive of everyone. I'm not against that in any way, shape, or form. Okay, that's fine. Being inclusive, absolutely fine. What I'm not happy about is them sitting there and going through and telling us, you know, oh, well, you know, all of this stuff is just garbage. You know, you're garbage for being like this. And literally destroying anything and everything that we're emotionally invested in. And then when we sit there and say, you know, well, that's stupid, then they go,
It's not stupid. It's advanced.
and we're just like, yeah, okay, you can eat my ass. Okay? You know, so you
Fuck
can,
off!
exactly. That's exactly what it is. You know, I'm getting sick of that crap. Just seriously. They all get to act like they're so much better than everybody else in the entire world. You know, and I'm sick of it. I'm just flat out sick of it. And I'll get on to reading this. Star Wars recently introduced a number of characters appearing in their upcoming published initiative, Star Wars The High Republic. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, huh. The High Republic.
Smoke weed every day.
High Republic. You know, the first character introduced is Avar Chris. Uh-huh. On StarWars.com, Chris is described as the brightest, most noble example of Jedihood. They also describe her as the best of the best. She wields a green lightsaber, has medium-length blonde hair, and wears a white garb with a yellow cloak. She has brown gloves and boots. Atop her white outfit, she sports a yellowish-brown tabard. It's all tied together with a brown belt. You know, never mind the fact that she looks like Legolas. She does. She looks like Jedi version of Legolas. Here's her full description. Avar is the brightest, most noble example of Jedihood. She always tries to see the good in people and situations and never puts herself first. She is invigorated about life in the frontier and the challenges it brings, and is an inspiration for those who work with her. She is compassionate, not dogmatic, and always ready to sacrifice herself over others. Avar Chris is the best of the best. That's not condescending. Am I being condescending? Yeah. I don't give a shit. I hate this shit. Pisses me off. No, you don't like it? Fight me. Exactly. I don't know why we're supposed to care about her fashion. You know? As far as I'm concerned,
Execute Order 66.
Screw her. Okay, Chris's stories take place in the High Republic. The High Republic is expected to take place 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. Okay? It's a time when the Jedi are still exploring the Outer Rim. Now, Vice President of Franchise Content and Strategy, James Wan, describes the setting. This was a golden age for the Jedi and also a time of galactic expansion in the Outer Rim. So, expect there to be rich tales of exploration. So, Wild Wild West, Wild Wild West. Charting out the galaxy, meeting new cultures, and killing them. And discovering what pioneer life in the Outer Rim was like. So, literally, Wild Wild West. This is an incredible sandbox for our storytellers to play in. So, Red Dead Redemption Jedi? Both within publishing and beyond, and we can't wait to see the great fiction they build within it. So they're literally going to retcon Star Wars. It's 200 years before the Phantom Menace, so they can go in before and say, all this stuff happened before, so all the movies don't count. Yeah. I can see it happening. It's gonna happen. Any Star Wars fan worth his grain of salt knows that Yoda would have been alive during this time. Everybody, okay? In Empire Strikes Back, Yoda tells Luke Skywalker, for 800 years have I trained Jedi. My own counsel will I keep on who is to be trained. A Jedi must have the deepest commitment, the most serious mind. Okay? Thus, Yoda would have been around during the High Republic and most likely trained Avar Kriss, or at the very least knows who did. Given Yoda would be alive at this time, it's hard to imagine another Jedi being the brightest, most noble example of Jedihood, or the best of the best. See? They're retconning the crap. They're literally retconning the crap. And they're trying to push this whole, bestest ever. That's what they want. It's exactly what they want. They want to get this whole narrative out there. They want to erase the entire series because they can't get what they want from the sequel series. They can't get Rey as the bestest ever. They're going to go back and they're going to go before and make a prequel of the prequels, retcon the entire thing, make the entire series completely and totally, oh, well, that doesn't count anymore. Here's the new series where All of these, the Force is female, and we all know how well that's going. Ask Miss Kathleen Kennedy. Nevertheless, that's how Star Wars describes Ebar Chris, and this appears to fit in with what the Disney version of Lucasfilm has been doing to Star Wars over the past couple of years. They've been radically attempting to alter, in many cases, destroy some of their own iconic characters. Just look what they did to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. They had him contemplating premeditated murder, and he even got to the point where he drew his lightsaber on his own nephew. Then, after Ben Solo abandons the Jedi, Luke decides to close himself off to the Force, an impossibility given the definition of the Force, and hide himself away, leaving his nephew to further corrupted by the dark side. The description of Yoda also began in Rian Johnson's, Ruin Johnson, The Last Jedi, as they show him tapping into the dark side of the Force and using Force lightning to destroy the Jedi Temple. Exactly, never would have happened. In fact, Star Wars' own website describes Force lightning as a dark side ability. It reads, Force lightning is a dark side ability used to torture, disfigure, and even kill one's victim. Okay? From their own website. This destruction of the characters is part of the phase of a Geekergate outlined by Ichibaka at Disney Star Wars is dumb. The whole idea of Star Wars The High Republic in the rebooted production will tout first female, first person of color, first alphabet, etc. Even if the IP has already had them before, they do this to contrast their new version as far more virtuous and progressive than the previous version, which they spent years or decades labeling as racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobic, etc. It appears this is exactly what they are doing with Avar Kriss. She is described as the best of the best, more than likely meaning far more virtuous and progressive than Yoda. Avar Kriss is not the only character that has been introduced in the Star Wars High Republic Publishing Initiative. Other characters, including Loden Greatstorm, Keeve Trennis, Stenning Gios, and Vernsta Bern Rowan. Loden Greystorm is a Twi'lek, like Chris. He wears white robes with golden accessories. He also has a yellowish cloak. His lightsaber appears to be yellow. Here's his official description. Loden is a Twi'lek Jedi Master and he is considered to be one of the best teachers in the Jedi Order. Strong and wise with a good sense of humor, Loden looks at every moment as a learning experience, always trying to better himself and those around him, especially his Padawans. I know they're going to add something to him. Keeve Trennis wears white and brown robes and wields a double-bladed green lightsaber. Her official description. Keeve is a young firebrand Jedi, believed to have a great future ahead of her. If only she would believe in herself. Quick-witted and more impulsive than she should be, Keeve has only been a Jedi Knight for a few weeks and is a little starstruck around Avar. Knowing many of her great things Chris has done in the past, she is determined to prove herself to Avar and the other legendary Jedi stationed on Starlight Beacon, but first she must learn to trust in herself as much as she trusts the Force. Stellan Gios wears clothing similar to Chris and Greatstorm. His robes are white and his golden tabard. He wields a blue lightsaber. Stellan is an optimistic and well-respected Jedi Master. Stellan came up through the Order with Avar Kriss, and although they are often on different assignments for the Jedi or the Republic, when the two work together, they are a powerhouse team of two noble heroes in action, strong in the Force and natural teacher Stellan is currently stationed on one of the Jedi Temple outposts in the distant planet of Karagon Vinar. And finally, the last character, Bernstra Bernroa, is a Marilyn who wields a blue lightsaber. Her garments are less elaborate, but still maintain the white and gold colors seen on everyone but Trennis. Newly minted Jedi Knight, was a Padawan to Stellan Gios. She works hard, is devoted to the Jedi Order, more so than most others her age. At 16, she is one of the youngest knights in the generation. She struggles to fit in with the adults while also setting a good example for the young Jedi. Now, what do you suspect that in this entire series you're going to see Abar Chris, you're going to see Kibi Trennis, and you're going to see Vern Rowe. And every once in a while, Stellan Gios and Loden Greatstorm are going to show up. And $5 says they're going to be a member of the alphabet community. So what's going to happen? They're going to end up being a member of the alphabet community. So what's going to happen? They're literally going through, as they said here, they're retconning all this stuff. They're trying to completely and totally wipe out the Star Wars that we know and love. The stuff that we have been, at least I have, been emotionally involved and invested in for literally decades. All because of some idiotic, stupid movement. Okay? It used to be very noble, extremely noble. It's now crap. Now, this is one of those really fun ones. I don't want to spend too much on this one, as I can't stand this woman. Dana Schwartz. TV series. She's supposed to be doing the She-Hulk Marvel Studios TV series. She has been, she hates men. She does. Flat out. She hates men. She recently, in a recent Twitter tirade, has compared men to Oster the Grouch, as in men are trash. All straight relationships are, the men are garbage. Flat out, that's what she said. Every straight relationship, literally, that's what it is. She recently attempted to blame men for questioning her credentials that landed her a role as a She-Hulk writer. She claimed it was sexist to even question her about her credentials, while also claiming her employers also had the right to question her. Basically, they can't say anything to her. She specifically taken issue with white men claiming they were gatekeepers of literature and important books. She's even called for banning of books written by white men. This is an exact quote from her Twitter. Obviously, we shouldn't ban all the books by white dudes. I think it just shows how people are so furiously and desperately attached to the canon that they respond to a slightly hyperbolic point made in half jest with such vitriol. Basically what it was is she said that the women depicted in comic books, movies, anytime where they, even video games, the women should be more if they aren't actual women, they should be more depicted less male gazy, is what she said. Basically, they should be depicted less sexy. Okay? And then she wrote, "Come on, no, high schoolers do not need to read Ernest Hemingway. The sun will not fall from the sky if another generation of students do not fake their way through the sun also rises." Oh, really? Really? So, an individual who makes her living as an author thing. I mean, never mind the fact that Hemingway is brilliant, and some of his works are absolutely astounding. But nah. Our idea of what the important books are wasn't built in a vacuum. They were created back in a time when books by the women and people of color were inherently thought of as lesser. The gatekeepers were white men who were biased in favor of their own perspective. Now, back then, yeah, there was some idiots back then. Agreed. But perhaps she hasn't heard of an author named Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? Mary Shelley was a woman. Not many people realize that. All right? There were plenty of female authors back in a long time ago. Yes, there were assholes. There are assholes every era. Okay? I'm not going to deny that. There are assholes every single era. Gatekeeping is stupid by everybody. It doesn't matter. Then she says we need to kill Western canon and that it's racist and patriarchal. Literal canon as it exists is racist and patriarchal, and it keeps reinforcing itself. She also doubled down and claimed that all books written by white men should be banned for 20 years from high schools. Talking about the upcoming Top Gun sequel, she whined about how unfair society is in regards to men and women. Now, this person here says Top Gun is a testosterone-fueled fantasy. Okay? All right. All right. He says, okay, deep breaths. Let's go through this slowly because this film is, I guess, as you say, exclusively for men. Sure, men need to be protected from the horror of a woman who is 60 years old. So, where does that leave us? Testosterone, Top Gun is a testosterone fueled fantasy. It's fantasy. That's it. I can't see a way that her character could be included as things stand without that fantasy element being transformed into something way too real. What he's talking about, what she's talking about is including the woman from the previous Top Gun movie, the love interest. I'm sorry, it's been a while. Her name has slipped my mind. The actress didn't want to do it. That's what it is. The actress didn't want to do it. They asked her, She didn't want to do it. All right. Then on, and it didn't fit into what the narrative of the story was. It's just it's a guy movie. Apparently, guy movies are completely and totally bad now. I mean, there are guy movies, there are chick flicks, okay, for lack of a better term. There's chick flicks and there's guy movies. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with having them, okay? I don't see a problem with having those. But so she doesn't see that. It's like she. Oh, she also says white men should be banned from teaching literature until 15 women win the Nobel Peace Prize in a row. She's just an absolute just gem. Can't you tell? Just an absolute gem of an individual. Never mind the fact, all right, the way she talks, the way she acts. If you go to her Instagram, I'm not going to subject you to that. If you go to her Instagram, there's literally pictures of her in thigh-high stockings and a corset. Hey, thanks. Thanks for following. But anyway, there are literally pictures of her in thigh-high stockings and a corset reading a book. You can literally almost see the whole business. She's going for eye candy and she pulls off eye broccoli. All right? The biggest problem is she has the personality of a brick, sharp on all edges and slightly radioactive. Which makes perfect sense why Marvel chose her to do She-Hulk. But the problem is, She-Hulk is actually a decent character. I don't know why they picked her to do the television series, but considering we've got Batwoman and the stupid Super SJW, I can understand why now. Holy crap. Oh, and now we got CW doing another one. Stargirl. Oh my god. I just saw the trailer for that one. That's gonna... I want it to be good. I want it to be good, but I can just see it now. It's because it's done by the literal same executive producer that does Batwoman. And you see, I do completely. There is a complete difference between a woman and a whammon. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. Because I don't have time to explain it to you, nor do I want to. Anyway, enough of this annoying abomination. On to another one. He was basically handed about $100 million project. About 4 or 5 shorts. She was handed a $90 to $100 million movie when she should have been doing $15 to $20 million movies to cut her teeth on, honestly. But because all girls are the bestest ever. She had to do it. You know? It's like, and she literally, she comes across, you read this, she comes across like fucking Skeletor.
Once I've restored Evelyn and Faker, I'll be back to have vengeance.
It's like, seriously. She comes across about this. All right. Had her teaming up with fellow women of Gotham, which fighting against the mob boss, Roman Sionis, Ewan McGregor. All right. That's fine. The film was projected to make $110 million to $125 million in its opening weekend worldwide, but instead it only took it took in 81 million, with only 33 million coming from the United States. Okay, and it only made 33 million here in the States. Now she comes up. She states, "I know that the studio had really high expectations for the movie, as we all did. Yeah." When they invested that kind of money, it's kind of, they kind of wanted to get their money back. But, I mean, instead, all they hear you is just, you know, and it's, all we hear coming from you is, it's just you whining over and over and over again. And we're tired of hearing it. You know, we're just hearing it. We're tired of hearing it. There's an extra burden that, as a woman of color, oh no, you already had that on me. So, oh yes, there are certainly different ways you could interpret the sex or lack of success of the movie, that everyone has a right to do that. But I definitely do feel that everyone was pretty quick to jump on a certain angle. And what angle was that? The fact that you were a woman. That you keep fucking whining about it. Your movie sucked. It had nothing to do with your vagina. It had everything to do with the fact that your movie fucking sucked. The script was horrible. It was about as exciting as a fucking prostate exam. All right? And I know. Hard for you to understand, and that's such a revelation, but still. After Birds of Prey was released in February, cinemas began to alter its title to help sell tickets. It literally altered the title of it. The film's full title is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One. No. Fans could find the movie, but there weren't any fans. Okay? It might not be DC's first female-led comic book movie, but it certainly is its goriest and most violent. If bloody brawls and faces being sliced off on camera are good enough for the boys, they're most definitely good enough for the women, too. Well, most of all, Birds of Prey is riotous fun and peppered with moments of warmth and light amidst the brutality and a breakneck race for survival with some of the Gotham's most badass broads. No, that's not what it was. Harley Quinn went looking for a sandwich. That was it. Okay? Rosie Perez did have had a decent, okay, decent the comics, but they were barely representative. They were barely done. You had, old Juicy Smolier's sister playing Black Canary. The problem with the entire movie was it was boring. Was it woke? Not really. It wasn't really woke. It wasn't really all that woke. It was boring. It was extremely boring. What killed your movie was the fact that you marketed it as a smash the patriarchy. You men are all bad. We're going to smash you. Then when it came out and it wasn't doing good, well, you men suck, but, please come see our movie. We want your money, but you men still suck. Then, well, it's just because men won't go see it. Oh, wait. More men went to go see the movie than the women did. Statistically proven, by the way. Well, it's just because the racist and homophobic men didn't go see it. You guys all suck, but we still want your money. Well, how the hell is that supposed to work? You suck. You berate, belittle, and call us all kinds of names. Say we suck. Market it against us, and then we're assholes because we don't go see your movie? Fuck you. Literally, just go fuck yourself. Honestly. It has absolutely nothing to do with the wokeness of your movie, because there wasn't really. There was a little bit into it, but it wasn't all that bad. It's the fact that you were a seriously obnoxious ass during and after, and now you're pushing for them to allow you to do a sequel. You literally want them to let you do a sequel to that annoying frickin' movie. And honestly, I just, yeah, I really, I can't, it's like,
Nope.
I don't see them doing it. No. I don't see them doing it. It's that they're just like,
Mission failed. We'll get them next.
okay, you're done. You time to move on. Go back down to the minors and do something different for a little while. You're not going to get another movie because you were handed it was worse than Solo. Solo lost money. Okay? Solo, a Star Wars movie, lost money. And you want a sequel? I honestly don't see them giving it to you. I just don't. Now, alrighty. Uh, anyway, that's been pretty much the fun part of the news. Really not much else going on in the fun thing that's not you know what related. We're not going to mess. Now, we're going to have just a little bit of fun. I thought that we're gonna have just a little bit of fun with day. Now, last week we did the hometown stories. We talked about we introduced John and Ilaria, and of course Aquinius and Itzafritz, and they were going to go take on some trolls in a cave. And we're still going to do that, but today we're going to have a little bit of fun with a new story. I thought up we're going to have just a little bit of fun. A little bit of fun. I want to try a new story. Now, disclaimer. This is a work of fiction. This content is not related to any real people, entity, or events. Okay? None whatsoever. This is completely made up. All right? Anyone that you think this is designed around is an imitation, and poorly imitated at that. All right. Now, on to the fun. All right. Today I'm going to tell you guys the story about two of my good friends. Their names, Julio and Audio. Julio and Audio, I'm not exactly going to say that they're the most, shall we say, with it individuals. They're not the most upfront. They're not the most smart individuals whatsoever. But they sure are. They're sure fun. Now, talk about Julio Copter and Audio Visual. Now, we're going to go see Julio and Audio in their house. Da-da-da-bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum. Audio! What? What are you doing? Making table candles? Table candles? Yeah, table candles. Well, what exactly is a table candle? Oh man, table candles are cool, man. See what you do, you take a table and you melt wax all over it, and then you light it on fire, man. Dude, would you quit setting shit on fire? Seriously. What is it with you? You and that dude, what's his name? The blonde-headed kid. What was it? Cornholio. Yeah, that dude. Why are you guys always lighting shit on fire? Oh, 'cause it's fun, man. That's why. Nah, quit. Put that shit down and come on, man. We gotta go fix the car. Man, I don't want to fix the car. You want to go out later, right? Yeah. Well, then we gotta fix the car. Come on, man. I got some new stuff. Oh, all right. Let's go. Their car. Not quite sure what's holding it together. It could be the rust. It might be the dust. But it's theirs. All right, man. Pop the hood. Pop the hood. Flip it open. Man, when's the last time you cleaned this thing? I don't know, man. What day is it? I don't know. Monday? Yeah, but you know what day? Well, it's like the 6th of April. So let's see. Okay, carry the one. About 10 years. Man. Look at all this. What is that? Mud. Bird's nest. Man. This is gross. Well, what are we doing anyway, man? Oh, we gotta. I got some stuff to put in the car. Yeah, okay, but you know, what are we doing, man? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. See? Look. See, check it out, man. I got a chrome dipstick. You got a chrome dipstick. Man, isn't that the plot of Mad Max Fury Road? No, man. No. It's a chrome dipstick. Isn't it cool? No, man, it's not cool. Look, why do you need a chrome dipstick? Look at this car. Now look at that. Now look at this car. That's like polishing a turd. What do you need a chrome dipstick for? The one you've got is perfectly fine. How much you spend on that? It was like $20. Okay. When was the last time you changed the oil in this thing? What is today? I just told you. I don't know, man. Why are you asking? Because this is important. Man, why don't you just sell this car and get a new one? Because I like this car. I got a lot of good memories in this car. Yeah, okay. All the memories aside, all right? I'm pretty sure that this car is about, I'd say, 90% rust. A good fart and this thing might fall down. You'd be better off parting it out, selling the parts. But take that dipstick back and get your money back, man. What else did you buy? Well, I got stuff for the inside of the car. You got a chrome dipstick and stuff for the inside of the car, like the interior of the car, not the engine, but the interior of the car. Yeah, man, it makes it cool. Yeah. Uh-huh. Man, are you high? No. Well, not right now. Nah. Look, man, seriously. My dad saw you doing this shit, he'd beat your ass. We need to fix the car so we can start going places. You can't get this car registered, none of this stuff until you fix the car. It's rust, dust, maybe duct tape. I mean, look at that. What is this? What is this? You got air freshener, seat covers. How much is this? How much you spend on these seat covers? Oh, about $100. You spent $100 on these seat covers. What you spent on these seat covers alone, you could have got belts and an oil change for the car. Man, you need to take this stuff back and you need to get your stuff to fix the damn car. Because right now, you are that chrome dipstick. Man, I ain't no chrome dipstick. Yeah, you are, man. I'm gonna call from now on. I'm gonna call you the chrome dipstick. Well, I'm gonna call you an asshole. Yeah, that ain't nothing I haven't been called the whole rest of my life, man. But see, the thing is, until you get this car fixed, we're walking. And now, what else we gonna do, man? You can't get a job. Can't get a job. Can't do nothing. What are you doing? We're playing. We're goofing off, man. Look, man, I may be not all here. Maybe I smoked a little too much weed. I mean, maybe. Maybe I do stupid stuff. I know that, man. But, when it comes down to it, man, seriously. This isn't the stuff you gotta do, man. You do the big stuff, man. Man, what you spent on all that garbage there, and right now that's garbage. It's garbage. You know, chrome dipstick. When you got a chrome dipstick when you ain't got oil in the car is dumb. Man, seriously. I mean, if you want to go back, get your money back, and we get the parts and we'll fix the car. But seriously, man, this isn't the way to do it, man. It's like that's like spray painting flames on your skateboard, man. It's not going to make you go any faster. You get what I'm saying, man? See? Oh yeah. And man, it's just I just thought it was really cool, man. Yeah, man, I get that. It's cool. I understand where you're coming from, man, but seriously. I mean, there's a time and a place for this, man. I mean, look at the world around us, man. I mean, we got enough people thinking we're losers. You know? We don't need everybody else looking down on us, man. Look at that. Look at the crap we've been through in our lives, man. We don't need you going and spending the little money we got on stupid crap. All right, man. So, what else? I don't know. Now what? I don't know. All right. So that was Julio and Audio. A little bit of the morality that I've decided to do for the day. Decided to throw that one out there a little bit. It was just a little quick one. Now, on to the hometown tales. Just thought I was having a little bit of fun there with Julio and Audio. And Audio, I decided I'm going to do kind of a morality thing with them. Be kind of an interesting thing. They may come back, they might not. A few little things. Anyway, I'm going to do a little bit of stumping here with the hometown tales. When we last left off with John and the rest of the crew, they had headed back to hometown. They were waiting outside, waiting for Ilaria to show up. Crossbow, some bolts for the hand crossbow. Quinius, he had a bow. Didn't appear to have a quiver, but he did have a bow. It's a Fritz. He had a hammer. Looked like a big, heavy in a circle. They hear the crunching of the gravel on the road. And they turn and they look and they see a young woman. Looks roughly about 20 years old, maybe 22. She's 5'3", maybe 5'5" at most, from the distance they're standing. She's got her hair pulled up short. Looks like it's usually about mid-back length, but she has it tied up tight. Not in a bun, but in a sort of a semi-ponytail. She's got metal breastplate on. Appears to have a shield on one arm. Long sword on her hip. She has a backpack. Looks like the standard traveler's style backpack across her back. Various pouches on her belt. Leather pants. Good sturdy leather boots on. Hello, gentlemen. Hello. 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 Are you the ones I'm looking for? For the troll subject? Yes. Mm-hmm. Good. So, where is it? I didn't get much in the way of details from Nitrio. Do we know how many we're dealing with? Not a clue. Not a clue, lass. Well, I don't know how many we are dealing with. Hell, I don't even know what the hell a troll is. Huh? How could you not know what a troll is? It's best you not know, lass. Just go with it. He doesn't know. Long story for another time. Anyway, let's head in that direction now. Well, all right then. The four of them start walking, heading towards where the road intersects with the small little river. It's not even really a river, it's more of a creek than a river. They don't really speak. The only sound that really goes on is the crunching of their foot as they hit the gravel the clanking of the metal of their gear, the chink goes on. As they come to the river, I came down from that direction. As he points towards the western way. Okay. And they follow up the riverbank, making their way up. It's rather slippery. Lots of moss. And this time of year, it being autumn, just the beginning of autumn, still rather chilly. The leaves have just started to turn, so there's still some green leaves, but there are some foliage on the ground. They start making their way down this riverbank. About how far did you go? I'm not sure. It was pitch black. I can give you about an estimate of time, but I was injured and I walked for it was a good half hour. So, I mean, I would say or at least us that are healthy, I would go perhaps a good 20, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll see where we can find, because I know I slipped down the bank. If we can find the spot where I slipped down the bank, there's a good possibility. As they start making their way down the bank, all they hear is the running of the water. Occasionally they hear the birds squawking, the animals of the forest, rabbits, the occasional fox. Nothing really big that you would think in a big forest is running around. It's odd, don't you think, Queenie? Aye. Usually you'd think big bears would be around this deep. Yeah. It's a good possibility that the trolls have ran them off. This deep in, you'd probably see a bugbear or two. The hell's a bugbear? You don't have those either. No. No, we don't. We've got grizzlies, Kodiaks, polar. Don't have a bugbear. Oy. All right, never mind. Mild conversation, nothing major. Just talking about the trees and weather and looks like a body has been drugged through it. Aye, does this look about right? Aye, it looks like something about your size. Came down from here. It's a Fritz points to the top of the embankment. Queenie takes a couple of steps, flips up to the top of the embankment. You always have to show off, do ya? I'm not showing off. It's the quickest way to get up here. Aye. Look, I think this was him. There's. It looks like a footstep and a dragging of a foot. And he was dragging a foot last night. Or, yes, last night he was dragging a foot. This looks to be him. Aye. Come on then, let's climb up. It's a Fritz, John, and Illyria climb up the embankment to where Aquinius is standing. They see the muddy footprints staggering side to side. You didn't exactly walk in a straight line. Well, I wasn't exactly very well, was I? You saw the state that I was in. Oh, yeah. Very well, then. All right. Let's head that direction, then. Be on your guard, though. I at least suggest that we arm ourselves. Aye, it's a good idea, lass. Okay. We don't know what might be heading this way. Larry and John pull out their long swords. Ready their shields. It's a Fritz readies his warhammer. And they proceed to walk forward. As they're walking forward, the ground seems to give beneath John and Illyria. Their feet seem to dig in. Not much, but still, it's muddy. Not as much for Itza Fritz. But it's obvious he's slowly making his way forward. John notices this, but chooses not to say anything. There's no point in drawing any attention to it at this moment. After all, they're in a possible dangerous situation. Making any undue noises could be detrimental. At that point in time, he's thankful he has some sort of military training, though he doesn't remember where it's from. He is glad that he does have it. They're walking 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There's not a sound except for them. Which is very odd. There's no natural sounds of the forest. You would expect something, but it's just silent, complete and utter silence. The only thing that John can hear is his heart beating in his ears. That's the only thing that he has rushing through his head. It's the sound of his own blood running through his ears. It's unnerving. After roughly about 10 to 15 minutes of walking, they come to what appears to be a cave, roughly battered in. Seems to have been a very old mining cavern. It's a Fritz. Looks at it over. Aye. It's an old one of ours. Really old. Looks like it hasn't been in use since before my early age. But the entrance has been crushed open. There's, as you can see from, as he points to the edges of it, there used to be a door here, roughly about man-sized. It looks like there was all different races of man, elf, dwarf, all working together here. This has been crushed open to make room for something much, much larger. You survived this. Somehow, yeah. I guess. Quinius is holding his nose. It smells. Well, thanks for the update. That's not what I'm talking about. Details here, Mr. Tracker. I'm not a tracker. I mainly hurt things. That's my job. You want a tracker? We have trackers. A lot better than me. I just know where to look. That's it. Your mainly job is to look pretty and break things. I know. Gentlemen, should we really be making apologies? Anyway, it's gonna be dark in there. I can see in the dark. Queenie can too. But you two humans, I know you can't see in the dark. John, you didn't bring anything to light your way, did you? No, I didn't. You didn't think about that, now did you? No, I didn't. Don't worry. I brought my lantern with me. I knew we were going to be doing something. Nitrio reminded me. Aye, he's always good about that. He was always good at being prepared. He was good about that. Now, be prepared. John, yeah? Now, we don't trust you. It's that we don't exactly know your skills with the weapons. Okay? Just being honest. So, would you mind holding the lantern? Okay? I mean, you're just gonna have to hold it with one arm. You can hold it with your shield arm, and then still got the sword. Okay? All right. Besides, trolls hate fire. Most things hate fire. Aye, yes, that's true, but trolls really hate fire. Oh, and they regrow limbs. They do what? Yeah, you can cut an arm off and they regrow it. So yeah, use fire. Good to know. Good to know. Illyria whips off her backpack. Opens it up. Glass on the hood. Hands it to John. Be careful, it will get hot. Thank you. And they proceed in. They walk in. It's dank. Wet. Old earth. The smell of mold and mildew and mud. They walk in a little more. The stench finally starts to waft as the wind and air starts to equalize. And it's the smell of decay. Not just plant decay and mold, but animal decay. The smell of old flesh, rotten meat. As it makes them all pause. They all gag a little. Vociferous turns and recites a few words. And a slight glow appears around everyone's head. Hey, it's not much, but that should help a little. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Eh? Yes. Thank you there, friend. You're welcome. The low glow of there's tool marks, old tool marks from picks and shovels long since gone silent. Ceiling and the sloshing of their boots from the water that's standing on the ground. It's only about a quarter of an inch deep. But that's still a quarter of an inch of muddy, standing water. They come to a corner. John says, I remember this. I was just around this corner when I came to. That smell is probably the two people that I woke up to. They peer around the corner. It's a Fritz does. I don't see anything there. There's no heat. Making out some figures laying on the ground. Right then, let's go around the corner. They slowly make their way around the corner. They walk into the room. And they're met with a sight that makes them squeamish. It looks as if something had been feeding upon the two gentlemen that were left in the room. There are pieces of their body that are missing. Piled off in one corner of the room is what looks to be their equipment. John says that the dwarf there, he was holding that shield when I came to. As he points to the shield that the dwarf was holding. It's a tower shield. It's silver with a large blue cross running through it. It looks like they hadn't finished stripping him of his gear. Trolls aren't known for stripping. I mean, they'll strip the gear off of them to keep from to eat them better, but they won't leave them like that. As he noticed that the gear had been cleaned and stacked neatly as to what kind it is. Chest pieces, weapons, boots, pants. The only thing it's missing is the coins. Money. The coin purses are there, but there are no coins to be seen. Something's not right here, Queenie. Yeah, nothing's ever right. Do we? Aye. Can't ever just be trolls. There are two. As they look around, they see there are two different exits to this room, both rather large. There's one that's straight across from where they came in, and one that's immediately to their left. The one immediately to their left has a very large wooden door. Looks to be oak with steel bands on it. It's old. Hey, it's a Fritz. Aye. Has this door been here this entire time? Aye, lass, it has. That door's leads down into the mine. That's the security door. What was this room? This is this room's usually the one where they they come in. This was the main room where like the foreman would come in and say the job duties for the day. That's probably that room over there is probably the room where they would all stow their gear. That's what I'm guessing. So, do you want to check out that room, or do you want to continue down into the mine? Well, we setting the trap. You never know. Aye, it's a good idea. John's just sitting there, quietly watching. Clearly, he feels he's completely out of his element. And is looking down where he was laying, literally less than a day ago. Looking at where these two people who were whole less than a day ago. It could kind of cosmic joke was played on him? He died once. He did. He did. He did die. How did he know that? John. What? What? We're heading into the other room, boy. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. You were spacing out there. You all right? Yeah. Sorry. Don't worry about those two. There's nothing you can do about that. You know? Thank the great above and beyond that you're not them. And let's get going. Yeah. You're right. Let's get going. They walk into the next room. It's just walls all the way around of carved cubby holes. What looks like metal hooks that have been dug into the rock, into the back, on the top, and on the bottom of the cubby hole. Some of them appear to have old, now very long, rotten shoes. Crumbled. Faded pieces of parchment paper. Old, mold-ridden and fungus-ridden books. Benches, wooden and stone. It looks like they originally had stone benches, but they added the wooden ones later as the more miners came in. The stone benches are still there fine, but the wooden ones appear to have long since collapsed. Many of them not from age, but from sheer force, as if something had stepped on or hit them. A couple of them that looked like they had been struck by something. Club, something blunt. Aye, it's just as I thought. This is the old dressing room for the mine. Not much here. It's if Fritz points off to the corner. There's a small, busted down door. That's the foreman's office over there. We should probably go take a look. I doubt there's going to be anything in there. And they walk over, look inside. There's an old busted down desk. Appears to be an old fan hanging on the wall. The hand type of fan. For those of us in the modern times, it's not an electric fan. The old type wave yourself type of fans hanging on the wall. Cracks in it. Looks like fungus have started to grow upon it. Looks like an old filing cabinet had the drawers had been forced open. Whatever was in it long since gone. There looks to be a place on the wall where the keys used to hang. The keys are gone. See, there's nothing much in here. I knew there wasn't much, but you never know. You don't see or feel anything abnormal about the walls, do you, there, Queenie? No, I don't. Everything feels. I don't see anything that looks off. I don't feel anything off. All right, then. What do you mean you don't feel or see anything off? I don't know. It's just a thing I do. I don't know. It's just every once in a while, while walking around, I get this feeling. It's like a sixth sense. I like hidden walls and things like that, and passages. For some reason, they just seem to call out to me. Really? Yeah. Huh. That's kind of neat, actually. Yeah. They walk back into the main room, walk over to the big wooden door. There's a very large circular pull ring on it. A noise. Everything down there is going to know this door's opened. This doesn't bother you. Oh, it bothers me a whole lot. But what are we going to do about it? We got a job to do. All right, then. It's a Fritz, reaches up, starts pulling. Queenie, give me a hand here. What, you can't do it yourself? Just quit gabbing and reach over here and get your grabbing. The two of them pull on this door handle, and this large creaking squeak, and then a scraping noise as the door opens up, and then a kerthunk chink as the door slides into a locked open position. And they hear that entire sound reverberating through the cavern. And all they hear is echoed back many times over. I know, I know, I know. But I don't want to get in onto what's going to happen next when we're so close to it being done. I want to give that I want to give what's next its proper due. Okay? Now we're going to have just a little bit of fun before it's time to go for the day. All right. All right. Have a little bit of fun with our supervillain time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have some fun playing with the supervillains. You know, now, official disclaimer. As I've said before in this, but just because I need to reiterate this is satire, okay? This is a joke. This is satire. I am not being serious in this. If you take this serious, you need to seek professional help. I am joking. All right? 100% I am joking. All right? If you're having trouble understanding that, again, please seek professional help. Now, on with our fun. Now, where were we? I gotta look into my files and look. All right. Now, and someone who is an overlord. Everyone that you see in the movies, in the video games, in comics, Ming the Merciless, Emperor Palpatine, Dr. No, Dr. Evil, they're overlords. Okay? The reason why is because they keep screwing up. They don't follow basic procedures, basic things that they could do to keep them out of trouble, keep them from following into the depths of hell and back. As I keep saying, you cannot take over the world if you're dead. It's just a simple fact. You can't. You can't take over the dead if you're dead, all right? All right? You just can't. There's just no way you can rule the world or the universe or whatever it is that you're planning on doing if you are not with us any longer. You're not among the living. You can't rule it. I'm sad to say That's the fact. Now, one of the biggest things that I have seen in every last one of these things, for when you are an overlord, as a ruler, okay, as a super villain, simple rule, simple issue thing for you to do. Accept a challenge from the hero. Huh? Call you dirty names on a social media? Caps lock you to death online? What are they going to do? Nothing. You have more important things to do than sit there and listen to them wah 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 at you because you didn't accept the challenge, so you're a blah de blah de blah de blah de blah. Honestly, they start in with that, it would vaporize them. You just zap, move on with your day. Now, also, when you are a super villain, okay, if you are not doing your own super weapons, okay, not all super villains do. It's just a fact. Not all super villains do. If your mad scientist, wizard, whatever, tells you that he, she, they have almost perfected your super weapon, but it still needs more testing, wait. You need to wait for them to complete the test. All right? Remember this, okay? The best piece of advice I can give you for this is no one, and I mean absolutely no one in the history of ever has ever conquered anything using a beta version of anything. Okay? Trust me, never going to happen. Let them finish what they're doing, then vaporize them and move on with your day. Okay. Now, as a supervillain, you have to do things that it's not pretty. You're a supervillain. These are things you have to do. It's just part of being a supervillain. All right? It's just part of it. It's part of the job description, okay? Do not order your trusted lieutenant to destroy the infant who is destined to overthrow you. Do it yourself. Okay? Because, guarantee you, 100% of the time, that person is going to have a last moment conscious attack. They're going to. 100% of the time. Every time. It doesn't matter. All right? And if that's because that's the thing. If you don't do it, that's on you. That's 100% on you. But if you to give it off to your trusted lieutenant and then they don't do it, that's on them. And then you go off thinking it's all done and everything's hunky dory, and then X and so many years, couple of decades go by, you're off doing your own thing. All of a sudden, said infant you thought was disposed of shows up and does what they were destined to do. And your trusted lieutenant is not a trusted lieutenant anymore. It's a X and so general number, blah, blah, blah. And now you've got this whole chain of command issue. Yeah, just complete and total waste of time, energy. And then you got to look at that, because you know they they're destined to destroy you. And what happens is, you think about it, they're destined to destroy you after a couple of decades. All right, fine and dandy. But let's say you've gone on to bigger and Legion of Doom. Your entire Legion of Doom is dependent upon you for their survival. And their families. That's, I mean, like I said, you know, you're a supervillain, but you're not an asshole. Okay? Remember, you're a bad guy, but don't be a bad guy. All right? Big difference. All right? Take good care of your Legion of Doom. You take good care of your Legion of Doom, they're going to take good care of you. Remember that. All right? So, take care of the stuff yourself. They're just things that you, as a supervillain, must do yourself. It's just part of the job. There are things you have to do. You cannot delegate. Despite all of these stupid 80s and early 90s managerial buzzwords that are still floating around, you can't delegate everything, okay? Sometimes you just got to get your hands dirty. Part of the job. All right. Now here is right here what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about your taking care of your Legion of Doom, okay? As a supervillain, okay, you need to allow guards to operate under a flexible work schedule. Okay? See, that way, if one is feeling sleepy, that person can call for a replacement, punch out, take a nap, and then come back refreshed and alert to finish out their shift. Very simple. See? Think about it. All right? That way you do not have a guard falling asleep on guard duty. You allow them to operate under a flexible work schedule. They put in their 8 hours, but it doesn't have to be at the same time. They can do 4, take a 2 or 2.5, 3 hour nap, come back and put in another 4. During that 2 or 3 hours, another person who is doing their fresh and alert guards taking care of your business. Very simple. Not just our government facilities, our state and local municipalities would be freaking awesome. Now, Oh. Now, also, as a supervillain, although it would be absolutely hilarious, rival that you were the one who committed the heinous act for which that person blames the hero. Never, ever, ever do this because it will never, ever, ever lead to a fortunate situation for you. Okay? There are times to speak and there are times to keep your mouth shut. And that is one of them. That is one of the times to keep thine mouth shut. All right? Never admit in any casual conversation. If it's brought up that what was going on with the hero, don't even admit it to anyone on your deathbed. I mean, granted, you are going to be taking over the known universe and possible galaxy and even this dimension if done correctly. And eventually, who knows, you may go on for immortality. But, granted, that may not happen. Even still, do not mention it. Keep your mouth shut. All right? Tower of Terror. Overlook. Things like that. Though the base in a volcano cave, it is nice, it is evil. It's also ridiculously easy to bypass security by rappelling down from above or flying down on some winged creature. There's always a security hole from the top. Always. It always has been. For some damn reason. I don't know why, but for some reason, there's always been one. The best thing you can do is to Tower of Terror, all right? Or even just simply, you know, the, two-story walk up of terror with the underground basement of doom. You know, sometimes the simple is good. You may not need all that space, you know. Two-story walk up of terror with the basement of doom. Then you've got your warehouse of terror. The warehouse of terror is where you keep all the fun stuff, and that's on your lot of evil. Just you got to think of the stuff. Sometimes location, location, location. Plan ahead. You got to think security. Always think of security and how can the hero or anyone who's on a vengeance run, how can they throw a monkey wrench in your situation? How can they go about disrupting your day, which is what it is. They're just, how can you not be bothered by them? And that's what it is in the long run. Now, okay. If during a physical altercation with the hero, an unavoidable physical altercation with the hero where you yourself have to be involved and you do not, you cannot send your Legion of Terror to take care of them. If for some reason you are dangling over a precipice and the hero, as they always do, reaches their hand down to you, do not attempt to pull them down with you. Okay? All right? Don't do it. They're just going to let go. All right? Allow them to rescue you. Thank them properly. Return to the safety of your fortress, and then order their execution. All right? That you should not be dealing with the hero. You should be doing everything within your abilities to avoid the hero at all costs. It behooves you to not deal with them. You know, that's how you basically view them in the same manner you would view a skunk. Avoid at all costs. Same thing, same reason. They stink, they'll stink up your day, and they will fuck up your way of life for at least a day or two. Okay? As a supervillain, routinely have your fortress of doom, your tower of terror, your two-story walk-up of terror exercised regularly. Although ghosts in the dungeon provide an appropriate atmosphere, okay, they do. They tend to provide valuable information once placated. They end up, I mean, they do provide a great ambiance, but they tend to do more harm than good for you. Not for the heroes. They just tend to cause more trouble than they're worth. You know? And besides that, all right, you're giving the local religious groups work. Okay? Right? Now think about that for a few moments. All right? Now move on with your day. All right. Now, no matter how tempted you are with the prospect of unlimited power, no matter, no, under no circumstances should you ever consume any energy field bigger than your head. Just don't do it. Your head's going to explode, and once again, you cannot rule anything when you're dead. Okay? All right, now here. Another wonderful tip. Hire a very talented fashion designer to create original uniforms for your Legion of Terror, as to oppose to some cheap knockoffs that make them look like Nazi stormtroopers or Roman foot soldiers or savage Mongol hordes. Okay? all of those were eventually defeated, and your troops should have a more positive mindset. All right? All right? Hire somebody that's going to hire a fashion designer, give very talented people work. All right? That's the biggest thing. You give talented people work. This is the whole thing behind this. Like I said, you're a bad guy, yeah, but you're not a bad guy. You're going to take over the world, then, the universe and then the dimension, yes. Of course. But you're not going to kill off everybody because you need to have people to rule. You see the thing here? That's the whole thing. This is where a lot of these overlords get the whole thing wrong. They go around killing off everybody, and then they can't. What's the point? You can't rule people if everybody's dead. Then you're just sitting there by yourself wanking your crank. Not good. All right. All right. When, as a supervillain, always, and I do mean always, keep bows, arrows, axes, maces, all of the wonderful medieval technologies. Okay? That way, even if the heroes manage to neutralize your power generator and or render up your munitions, your troops will not be overrun by a handful of savages armed with spears and or rocks. Okay? Remember, think ahead. All right? Well-trained troops all around. Well-trained. Well-trained doesn't mean just pew 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 pew. Sword, bows, arrows, knives, daggers, axes, as well as pew 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 pew. And then bring in a kung fu master. Right? Give people that are very talented in multiple martial arts jobs and have them teach your Legion of Doom. This is a Legion of Doom. Make sure it's a Legion of Doom. As a supervillain, maintain at all times a realistic assessment of your strengths and weaknesses. Yes, even though it does take some of the fun out of the job, at least you should never utter the line, "No, this cannot be. I am invincible." Because usually after that, your death is usually instantaneous. I mean, every damn time. Look at any movie, every comic book, every made-for-TV special where there's an evil overlord. They utter that phrase and then they're dead. Okay? Now, as far as supervillainy goes, okay? No matter how well it would perform, do not, under any circumstances, ever construct completely indestructible except for one small and virtually inaccessible vulnerable spot. I'm looking at you, Palpatine. Death Star. How much did that cost you? Not just once, but twice. Twice. They did it to you twice. Yeah. Was it worth it? I don't think so. Alright? It was pretty. It was a pretty. Wasn't worth it. Alright? Alright? Now, another one. Alright? We're going to make this the last one for the day before we call it. As a super villain, all right, do not waste your time making any of your enemy's death look like an accident. All right, you're not accountable to anyone, and your other enemies wouldn't believe it anyway. So why waste your time? It's a waste of your time, waste of your talents. You have more important things to do than sit there and try and make the blood splatter certain look right. Just vaporize the guy and move on with your day. You're a super villain. Okay? CSI is a good TV show, but you don't really got to figure things out. Who cares? And besides, if you vaporize them right, it's not even going to matter. All right. Thank you all very much for being with me today. I hope I've been at least half-ass entertaining. I did enjoy hanging out with you all today. And I do hope to see you guys again on Wednesday. I hope to be doing some more fun things with you. I'm not sure if I'm going to do Julio and audio. I may. It depends upon whether or not if I'm going to be doing any morality or anything with them. I might not. I'm going to look up some stuff. Might do news, might not. Just depends on what I'm in the mood for. All right. To being your conductor on the crazy train, and it's time for us to get off of this crazy train. But once again, I will see you guys again on Wednesday. Thank you very, very much for everything and for hanging out with me. I'll catch you guys later.